Hi, I'm Sierra and I was DP for this project. My favorite part of being DP was probably working with the lights and getting the colors in the certain places and pushing things in the shadows and working with that and pushing the camera like into the actual like set itself and strategically pointing things in different directions because there was a lot of stuff that we were trying to strategically hide. Working with that was difficult, but it was also really fun and the lights were beautifully rewarding. I think the most stressful part was mostly just the time constraints because there were a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that needed to get done and a lot of things that could only be done in one take, like the blood splatter and the poster ripping. So the stress of getting that or not getting that I thought was very nerve-wracking, but mostly just the time constraints. And then also the moving shot list, which I had mine pretty concrete, but then like as time constraints went down, it kept on changing. I think that the hardest part was just the amount of extras that we had. They could be doing literally nothing wrong, but just the more people you get in a room, the more it's like wrangling, herding cats. So I thought that part was kind of difficult. Sometimes, you bicker with the people you work closest with, but it all smooths out in the end, and it's mostly just the stress of the time constraint talking. So it was actually fine.
My name is Eric. So my role was wardrobe. I'm not really designer because I didn't really design anything. Probably more of like a coordinator. I was also in charge of the fake blood special effects. My favorite part of doing this role was probably dressing people and coordinating them with their costumes. It wasn't quite as advanced as what I would like to do because of limited time, but I thought, at least in the case of the Pete the Pirate costume, I thought that was, I put that together pretty well. The most stressful part was probably trying to get particular costume pieces in time and dealing with the lack of 24 or like annual costume shops that open year-round in Modesto is very limited. And their supplies are not that well stocked.
My name is Jocelyn.
And my name is Nathaniel.
My role was a co-writer, and I was also the second camera assistant.
And I was also a co-writer to follow up, and I also was a part of the post-production team for the editing, where I was the assistant. The script took 2 semesters to write. Once you think about it, because it was the final project for the screenwriting class, but when it came to making it happen for this class, Sky wanted to change it up a bit. So, we called in Jocelyn and did some touch-ups.
We were a little concerned with having to change so much of it, but I kind of thought about it some more and I was like, okay, you know what, these changes do make sense, because the version that we had, not a lot was happening. There wasn't a lot of like push for the main character to actually stay. The changes that we made in the end were actually beneficial for the script.
At the start, I was a little caught off guard because like the way they were playing out the dialogue wasn't really like my view like of how I was like making the script. It's not bad. Like, I'll give it to them. They're all doing a good job.
At the end of the day, it's the director's vision. We're just the writers.
I was the best boy electric, so basically I was in charge of the equipment, making sure it is safely transported out into our set and then brought back safely. Also setting it up and doing basic stuff with the electric team. My favorite part was just bonding with my team. It was very fun working with the gaffer, Desiree, and just like the other gaffers and grips, and it was just very fun. Also getting to become more accustomed with the electrical equipment was very fun because I would like to be a jack of all trades in a set, so I like the experience I got here. The most stressful part was every time we'd be like moving the lights and they'd say, oh, we need the lights over here, and then we start moving the light equipment, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh wait, no, change of plans, we gotta move the lights over here. I'm like, oh my god, okay, so we need to start moving that, and then they change the plans once again. Like, it's not their fault, but it was very stressful having to switch the lights all over the place.
My name is Clemente Zavala. I was the director of Pete the Pirate. My favorite part of directing was just really working with the actors and making sure that everything was running smoothly and we were all having a good time. Because it's like it was very crunch for how much we had to do in terms of like filming and getting the story like really well orchestrated. So that was like probably my favorite part. I think just working with someone else who wrote the script was just really important in terms of like getting what they wanted in their vision, because I wanted to make sure that we got the story they were trying to tell, but also like elevate it and just making sure it jumped off the page onto the screen. I think the most stressful part about directing was making sure everyone was on the same page and just making sure that we were keeping up with the schedule and like the time crunch, like I said, because we literally only had technically 9 hours total to shoot 3.5 minutes of a script with like multiple extras and multiple actors and a lot of angles. So yeah, I think that was probably the most difficult part. I'm just really grateful, like seriously, like everyone giving me a chance, or just working with the flow in terms of like just the stress and getting it done. So thank you.